International Super Karts was developed by Brain in the Jar Limited and published by Midas Interactive in 2005 for the PlayStation 2. And this is a budget-styled arcade kart racing game that utilises various different game modes to race karts around different types of tracks. In this game, compared to other kart racing games, would be a little bit more realistic, and the development is a little bit better compared to other games on the system. I have covered previous videos on some of these games. I'll make sure to leave a link down to some of those videos in the description, and you will see the differences between them. So the game offers a variety of different modes, from championship to exhibition races, and different challenges that allows you to unlock different vehicles and different tracks throughout the course of play. There's a total of 3 different types of kart classes to gain mastery of that go up in different tiers, anything from 150cc all the way up to 250cc. So the difficulty and the speed of the cart increases depending on which tier you're racing in. The game also has access to a 2-player split screen mode so that you can play with your friends, and in total the game has 10 tracks that you can race on, and all of them are outside in different types of environments, anything from forest type of tracks to industrial estates. The gameplay is fun, but does offer up a very unique and at times difficult challenge, as it definitely takes a bit of practice and patience to get used to the gameplay mechanics. This would be a more realistic style of kart game, and having played kart games previously, not only just on the PlayStation 2 but the PS1 and even the modern consoles, there's very few games that I would consider personally to be really good. I have yet to see a really good kart racing game. I find that a lot of them would be quite mediocre at best in terms of the controls. Like, the game would look fine, but the game would be so difficult to master because the controls with kart racing games are always super twitchy. Plus, they do have the typical element of the rubber banding AI with the computer opponents, so it's very difficult to gain any sort of a leverage within the races, and this game really is no different. It is more realistic, but that also adds to the overall difficulty of the game, because even when you think you're winning a race, the slightest little bump or skid on the track which can throw you into a wall can literally put you in last place within a matter of seconds, even if you are a good bit ahead. And which will happen quite a lot. No matter how much you try to master the game, you'll always find that there will be a mistake that will be made somewhere that will completely destroy all of the progress you've made in each of the races, and these games are always very frustrating for that. That's why I've yet to experience a really good kart racing game, as from what I have played, and I've played multiple types of games like these over the years, they're very difficult, and most cases a lot of them are not that great. But that's just my opinion. They are worth a playthrough if you do like these type of games, but they just are very difficult. The more realistic they seem to be, the more difficult they seem to become. The more cartoony style of kart racing games like your Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing have better gameplay aesthetics and gameplay mechanics and control styles, and they seem to play 10 times better than these more realistic type of games. But then they are on a different kind of genre, they are on a different stage of their own, as it compares to a totally different audience and gameplay style. But one of the really cool and unique features about this game is the TV style replays. When you finish the race, you can gain access to some really cool features inside of the replay mode, where you can adjust the variety of camera angles that are on offer, so you can get some really cool cinematic shots of the karts driving by throughout different views. So that in itself is a pretty cool feature that not many of these games would have had back then. If in all honesty, that's kind of one of the best features of the game. It's not to say the gameplay itself is bad. From what I have played of it, it is enjoyable, but it doesn't be long before you start to get frustrated, especially with the controls of the karts, as that is where its biggest flaw is at, as it just can get very frustrating very quickly. And the tracks are well laid out, but it's just the twitchiness of the controls that causes you to spin out, or if an opponent crashes into you, they can knock you off the track very easily, and it will completely destroy any little bit of progress that you've made, and you'll spend the entirety of the race trying to catch up, and you'll never barely even get into the top 3. It is possible to win races, but again, it just takes a lot of trial and error and a little bit of luck for it to happen. But in some cases it could be depending on the tracks. Some tracks are definitely easier to win races than others, but it was not until you played through it for a while that you'll be able to experience it for yourself. Now, if you are into kart racing games, this is definitely one of the more realistic ones that I have played, and it is worth a try in that respect alone. But it's not to say that it won't frustrate you any less, but it really all depends then onto the player's preferences and what they think of it and what they're able to make of it themselves. But I will leave that up to you, and I would love to know your thoughts of International Supercars for the PlayStation 2, if you have enjoyed it yourself back in the day, and if so, what did you think of it? Be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of these type of videos where I do more reviews and gameplay style videos of other types of kart racing games released on the PS2, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated when future videos are released. And if you'd like to see more videos on similar types of racing games that are released on the system, be sure to check out the playlist here on the screen to see more of those games in action. So be sure to check them out, and I will see you all over in the next one.